to Wheeling University Athletics. I'm Zach Ziegler. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Patrick Stanton Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head track and field coach Patrick Stanton. And Patrick, a big week for you guys. You're getting ready for the MEC Championships. Talk about your team's mentality this week and what it's been like leading up to the event.
Yeah, man, we're excited. That group is pumped up and ready to go. We know we're underdogs on both sides. Charleston's the heavy favorite, really, for the men and the women. But our men have been slowly creeping up there, getting closer and closer each week. So we're ready to just put our best foot forward. The men have been itching to get a championship for the last couple of years. The women have won the last 3 outdoor titles. So the men are a little bit hungrier because they see the women win every year. So especially those upperclassmen like Brian and TJ, they really, really want a championship. We know it's going to be a big effort. It's going to take a huge, huge weekend. They're excited to just kind of put our best foot forward and see how close we can get.
And this past weekend, you guys split up a little bit. You had your multis compete for the first time this season. Jalen McLaren, Liz Salas going and competing over in their events. Talk about how important it was for them to get out there and just be able to compete in the pentathlon and the heptathlon.
It was huge. I mean, we needed it before conference. They needed to get a qualifying mark. So it was Jalen, Liz, and Desi on the men's side. We've been planning to do the multi for the last 3 weeks. They were out the first time due to health and safety protocols, and then the following week at Ashland, the first day of the meet got canceled because of snow, so that scrapped the multi. So we're like, all right, this is our last chance. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. We just need to get some marks on the board and get a qualifier for conference. So it's going to be tough, just to do the multi for them back-to-back weekends. It's a very strenuous event, and it takes a big toll on the body. So the big focus for this week was just recovery. Hit some of the more technical points, just where we could improve from last weekend, especially in the field events like high jump, long jump, make sure our mark is down. But besides that, it's really just been mostly about recovery for them this week.
And then looking at the event at Kent State, you had a bunch of your athletes competing. Jabez Reeves ties a school record in the 200-meter, and you had a couple other great performances by Brian Van Dusen and Tara Perry as well. Talk about that meet overall and what that did for you heading into this championship event.
Yeah, Brian's jump and high jump was absolutely huge. I think by far the best performance in the conference so far this season. I mean, he's currently sitting 9th in the country in high jump. Shattered the provisional mark. He's looking like a great bet to go to the national meet in that event. It was his first time doing high jump so far this year. He struggles a lot with back soreness and things like that, so we don't always press our luck too much with him in high jump. He's always been more of a long jumper. But we decided, like I said, those upperclassmen guys really want to go compete for championships. So they're trying to get in as many events as possible. Guys are really kind of stretching themselves to get outside of their comfort zone and get in new events. So we decided to try Brian out in the high jump and end up having an absolutely phenomenal day. He's a great athlete. So we always know that kind of performance is right on the cusp as long as he's feeling good and we're hitting our marks down and everything just kind of aligns perfectly. And like you said, Jabez in the 200, we knew that kind of performance was in his wheelhouse, especially after Youngstown State a couple of weeks ago. He came very close. It was 21-7-1 a couple of weeks ago. So we knew that sub 21-7 was in his wheelhouse, and he could hit that Provo mark and potentially come close to the school record. So Coach Jada Barker, our sprints coach, my GA, she did a lot of work with the sprinters the last couple of weeks. Once we got the snow off the track a little bit, actually working that curve, so they're a little bit more technically sound and ready for that 200.
And currently joined by Wheeling University head track and field coach Patrick Stanton. And Patrick, you're talking a little bit ago about how the guys are really hungry for a championship. They've been hitting the regional rankings lately. Number 4 last I checked. Talk about them and what that means for them to get those rankings.
Yeah, it's been huge. We've always been a strong team in the region, consistently in the top 10 range. I think the women were hanging around the 5 or 6 range last year for most of outdoor. Men were more 8, 9, 10, that kind of range last year. So for them to make a jump and be consistently a top 5 team so far this indoor season has been awesome. Like we've been talking about, the men have taken just a huge step forward this year. We just got a lot stronger, a lot more consistent. We were a really young group last year, and we're still young, but I think, like I've mentioned in Patrick Stanton Show's past, last year, seeing the women get the title and the men getting second, they were proud of their performance, but they really wanted to take that next step. So I think you just saw that in their work ethic and their practice and just being a little bit more consistent over the last year. It's just been huge for them.
And then looking at the women's side, you have a couple of athletes coming to this event on high strokes. Aisha Cisse had some good runs in the hurdles. Tara Perry we've talked about in the field events. Talk about the women and how they're preparing for this event.
Yeah, Aisha's been bringing that hurdle time down just little by little every single week. Right now she's currently sitting second in the conference in the 60 hurdles, but it's going to be a very, very close race. I think she's like 0.01 seconds off of first place. So we're pumped about that race. Tara's been looking great. She was right at her PR in high jump last week. She's been looking great in practice. I think she's going to see a huge day in high jump. She PR'd in long jump, so we're hoping to just continue to see that work its way up. She's looking great in hurdles as well. Caroline Fodor, she's currently leading the 800 with a 2:18. I know she's got more in the tank. She ran that 2:18 after running the mile at Ashland. She gets in a tough race that goes out well and it kind of suits her strengths. And she's fresh at conference. I think we're going to see a big PR from her.
And finally, heading into this championship event, what's the best advice you're giving your team and to get the best out of them?
We want to go into day one ready to make finals in all the sprints and hurdles events. That's always just been kind of our motto going into the conference championship. Day one, focus on getting into finals. We're going for broke getting into finals because we know if we can flood the finals, then we're looking great on day two. We know we're underdogs. We're super hungry, but myself, Coach Barker, Coach McKinley, Coach Stewart, everyone who's associated with our team, we're just so proud of what the team's been able to do so far. Athletically and just personally, like we've mentioned, they're a young group, so it's been a lot for them to just come together over the last couple of years and just grow as people, grow as a unit, and really just kind of buy into that Cardinal culture. We've seen that a lot more this year and year two for most of them. So really just making sure they know that it's going to be a tough battle. It's going to take everything we have. We still might not come out on top, but if we go out there and give our best, put our best foot forward, then it's going to be a great weekend, and then we're going to be hungry for outdoor after that.
Thanks, Patrick. Good luck this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.